Well, because the power of what? The word, the positive spoken word, and the self-talk that I was telling myself, right? When you're by yourself, who are you talking to the most, right? 70% of it is you talking to you. What are you telling yourself? Are you shitting on yourself? Are you putting yourself down? Are you telling yourself you're not worth it? Are you kind of like putting yourself to a fucking point where you're not worth anything, lower than an amoeba? Or are you building yourself up? What's going on? This is Michael Barayev with Spitting Fire. Today is
Monday.
And as you guys know, every single Monday we come to we spit fire.
Yeah.
I got my boy E Crizzle, E Shizzle, E Dizzle, E Money Bags over here. Say what's up, what's up, what's up?
Woo! I'm feeling good today.
He's always feeling good. He feels good every day. We were in Miami, we were in LA. He was just feeling good.
Swimming with the sharks.
He was feeling really, really good. So before we get into this topic about what we're going to talk about today, what I want you guys to do is quickly, we're actually kind of changing a few things that we're doing in our podcast. We're actually going to be posting every single day different audio clips from YouTube, from whatever, from any kind of training, and we're going to be posting them as well onto this podcast. So you guys have a chance to, when you're driving, instead of you crashing the car watching YouTube, you can actually put it on your audio book, or kind of like an audio book. You can listen to it, right? So what I want you guys to do quickly is to subscribe on our YouTube channel and our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify. You can find us there, okay? It's Michael Barayev, Spitting Fire, okay? We appreciate you guys. Remember, we're not making any money from this. The reason we're doing all this is because we want to help and inspire young millennials to become successful in their endeavors, okay? So today's topic is going to be very, very, very important. That changed my life at the young age of 19, and it's the power of
self-talk.
Self-talk, right? The way you communicate within your own head. The words you speak when you're by yourself. What do you tell yourself when things are not going right? What do you tell yourself when things are actually going right? So what kind of conversations are you having in your head? So a little bit, he comes from a background of neuroscience, so he understands how the brain works. And a good book that I read a long time ago that actually helped me understand this concept of power of self-talk was a guy named Shad Hemstedler. Okay, and the book is called, I wish you guys can kind of show it in the video here, What to Say When You Talk to Yourself. It's an amazing book, all right? It's so powerful. Like when I read that book, as a matter of fact, he came to one of the events, one conference event, he was actually speaking on stage, and I remember that it was like it was yesterday, and I bought all those programs, and I actually started to pretty much listen to those positive self-talks and just put it in the morning and let it kind of program me. I still have those audios today. I've used them for many years, and they changed my paradigm, right? They changed the way I thought. So when it comes to, especially with your background, how powerful is the brain, and how powerful is the power of the spoken word when you actually start talking to yourself?
Right. Well, I mean, the mind is the most powerful thing that I can think of in the universe. I mean, that I know about.
They said that we don't even use like a certain percentage of our brain still.
Yeah, I mean, it's got so much potential. I think that we miss out on a lot just by either avoiding it or not understanding its, ability. But I do think that words, especially internal self-talk, is what ultimately drives most of our decisions, most of our behaviors, most of our, thinking. And the words that we use, verbally out loud, it's all driven by prior self-talk. And so I think there can be deliberate self-talk where you tell yourself certain things to help, plant different ideas or momentum in your mind. And then I think there's kind of that more subconscious or unintentional self-talk where you're just kind of talking to yourself, but you're not really paying attention to what you're saying. Yeah. And both of those have an impact. And what I think,
a lot of times they don't even realize what they're saying to themselves. Like people just be talking. They don't realize that they're just digging themselves a huge hole. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's all good. So I think, for me, and one of the things that we could talk about, and I'll ask you some questions, is becoming more deliberate in the things that you say to yourself. And I know people who have been, very successful do a tremendous job of being careful and monitoring what they tell themselves, and then also deliberately saying certain things, even if it's repetitive or they do it, in some type of motto or whatever it is, monogamously, whatever it is, to make sure that they're saying certain things to themselves on a daily basis, to start planting those ideas and thoughts in their head, because you become what you think about, and your most consistent, reliable thoughts are who you.
Let me ask you a question. I heard that a long time ago, so I'm thinking about a big hairy cat. I'm gonna turn into a cat. No, but I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah, like I watched a movie called Inception. Sick movie. Sick movie. I watched it so many times because I love it. Like it's just an amazing movie. It like plays with the mind a little bit. How you're actually like you're in a dream within a dream within a dream. It's just a powerful, powerful movie. If you haven't watched it, great movie to watch. It came out I think 2008, 2009. It was an amazing movie. Leonardo DiCaprio actually played that movie. So, but it really kind of made me think like, wow, like you can literally put in a thought in your head and just amplify it and actually make it come true. Like you think of it this way, like at 19 years old, and I keep picking that age at 19 because that's when my life kind of shifted to 180, right? At 19 years old, I had no idea that the things that I was saying to myself were putting me down and holding me back. It was like chains holding me back to what I actually wanted to accomplish. And I didn't understand it, so I was getting very frustrated. You can imagine how angry I was, right? It's like going into your car right now. Like imagine this, go into your car, don't turn on the car. Just go inside of it and start pushing the gas and stop and not move. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to get so upset because the brakes are on, the engine is not on. Like you're just literally turning off everything.
It's like you had shit. You could see the food right in front of you, but you couldn't quite reach it.
Yeah,
and that's in your thoughts where the change.
Yeah, even a better example is actually turn on the car, put your foot on the brake, and then press the gas. Like you're not going to go anywhere. So my foot on the brakes was the negative self-talk, right? And we could actually and what happened was like we could start looking at a different perspective. When I started talking positively to myself, I'm not saying, hey, Michael, you're a good boy. None of that shit. I'm talking about deliberate, intentional thoughts, specific, direct thoughts on what I wanted to accomplish. So, for example, I was writing in my journal at the time. I was speaking and I am going to be 160 pounds and certain percentage body fat, and I hit that target. Now my target is a little bit different. For the past 3-4 years, I've been writing. I'm 175 pounds with 7% body fat, and you guess how much I weigh? Very close.
170.
Almost 170, yeah. And then my percentage of fat is like 9-10%, right? All because the power of what? The word, the positive spoken word, and the self-talk that I was telling myself, right? When you're by yourself, who are you talking to the most, right? 70% of it is you talking to you. What are you telling yourself? Are you shitting on yourself? Are you putting yourself down? Are you telling yourself you're not worth it? Are you kind of like putting yourself to a fucking point where you're not worth anything, lower than an amoeba? Or are you building yourself up? So I learned, and some people may say, Michael, you're too confident, you're too this, you're too cocky. No. I believe in myself so much that I will not allow a negative thought to be out there in the open that someone else created to be affecting my mindset. I heard someone told me the other day, you're a narcissist. I was like, awesome, that's your opinion. I take full responsibility that you feel that way. Now, do I feel like I'm a narcissist? Absolutely not. But may I have some of those tendencies? Maybe. I don't fucking know, right? But I'm not going to allow that opinion be my reality because I understand the power of self-talk. And if I start to constantly tell myself I'm a narcissist or I'm evil or I'm bad or I'm fat or I'm this or I'm not too short, I'm too tall, whatever it may be, whatever you're thinking, whatever you're allowing the thoughts to come into your head, if you're repeating those constantly, what you're doing is creating highways in your head. And now those thoughts become realities, right?
Well,
so it's very important to be careful how you speak about yourself and think about yourself with other people's thoughts about you.
They say in neuroscience that if you don't use it, you lose it. And neurons that fire together wire together, which basically means the more times you create an association in your mind, whether it be, myself and losing weight, that connection, the more you tell yourself that, the more you repeat it and refine it in your mind, the stronger that connection and the larger the highway. And this way, not only is the highway stronger, so it's more likely to actually get driven down, but it's also, or I should say, not only is it you can drive down it faster, but you're actually making it easier for you to make that association later on.
Yep.
So let me ask you a question though. So I believe in the power of self-talk. Obviously, I believe that the more times you tell yourself something, the more likely it's going to become a reality. But where does I also believe in self-reflection and logical planning. So what I mean by that is, where do you reflect on where you currently are and where you want to be and strategically place yourself there through actions versus just telling yourself over and over again you're going to be fit without actually putting an action plan behind it?
Great question. So you got to be, number one, you got to understand, like for example, I'll give you an example. Let's say you're an alcoholic, okay? Let's just put it an example. You're an alcoholic, your buddy's telling you, yo bro, you're drinking too much, your family's telling you you're drinking too much, and what you're doing is saying, nah, I'm good. What you don't realize is that every time you get tired, what do? You grab a glass of wine. Every time you're hanging out with your boys, you're grabbing a couple of beers. Every time you're at a club, you're drinking liquor. Every time you go to any kind of restaurant, there's a mojito in your hand. Like anytime there's something going on, you always have some kind of liquor attached to your your kind of lifestyle, right? So like as an example, you don't even realize that you're actually an alcoholic. Let's just put it that way, right? But then one day you start saying, you know what? Wait a minute. Your relationship maybe has broken apart. Maybe your parents kind of kicked you out of the house. Maybe there was a breakup that kind of went through because of the alcohol problem, and you kind of really say, oh, you got a DUI, and then like, wait a minute, holy shit, like I have a problem, right? So the first step is to identify you have the problem. So whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, you're trying to lose weight, gain weight, business, schmizness, whatever it is, right? You have to first, I know schmizness, right? Business, schmizness, right? You have to first identify and be aware that you have a problem. But don't dwell on it too much. Don't say, oh, I'm an alcoholic. No. I got a problem. Now, how do I fix it? Now, you start, literally your mind goes into, okay, I'm fixing this problem. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to start creating an action plan. And you draw out some things. Okay, every time I feel like drinking, instead of me grabbing that beer, what I'll do is I'll grab a cold cup of water with some ice. Put a straw in it and make pretend it's an alcoholic drink. Whatever, right? You create some action plans. I'm not really, good at changing these habits when it comes to coming from an alcoholic to non-alcoholic, but there's some action steps you have to take, right? Maybe instead of me going to the club every fucking Friday and Saturday, I'll go and spend some time in a bowling alley so I don't have to drink. So self-awareness is key. Understanding you have a problem and accepting it. Then you actually put an action plan, and now you start speaking what you want.
So you gotta have an action behind your
You have
thoughts.
to. But with the action and the self-talk, you're gonna create the results. So for example, we're going out to the field today. I guarantee you from the time we get out of this office right now to the time we're gonna be knocking, in my mind, I've got 2 deals, I got 2 deals, I got 2 deals, I got 2 deals in the back, 2 deals in the back, 2 deals in the back, 2 deals in the back. I'm new to this game, but guess what? Like I'm new to this specific product we're selling, but guess what? I'm telling myself I got 2 deals in the back, 2 deals in the back, 2 deals in the back, 2 deals in the back. I'm constantly reminding myself. I'm not speaking it out loud at every single moment of my life, but I'm thinking it. I'm concentrating all that mental energy on what I want. And through that positive self-talk, what's going to end up happening is that through time, it's going to become repetitive, that automatically my brain accepts that I have 2 deals in the bag. Does that make sense? So I had to build myself up. If you would have met me at night, it's crazy. I wish I could have recorded my life at 18, 19 years old. And I would have showed you my life. And you would have looked at me today and said, who the fuck was that guy? Who is that guy? Was that really you? So that's the beautiful thing about, video cameras. I wish I started recording myself when I was 18, 19. Some of you guys need to be recording yourself and saying, hey, this is who you are. I wish I could show some people,
Some guy came into my college dorm room freshman year and recorded me. It's kind of weird.
Anyway, so the thing is this: you gotta kind of remind your mind who you really are, not in the sense of your negative skill sets, but the ones that you want to kind of build up. So you gotta start building those up. You gotta start believing in yourself, because you're creating a rose in your head about that thought. Does that make sense? Remember, when a child is young and the mom says you're stupid, the kid is building. The reason why the kid ends up thinking he's stupid is because of the self-talk that he has, not necessarily what the mom said. He just took that thought, accepted that thought, and started to reprogram his mind every single day about me being stupid, me being stupid, me being stupid, me being stupid. And what ends up happening, he grows up being stupid.
Do you think it's harder to recreate a thought, or I should say create a thought, or reverse a thought that you already have?
Right, so the hardest is to remove a thought. It's very hard to remove. So for example, when you have bad thoughts, people always ask me, how do I stop these thoughts? You don't stop the thoughts. You create new ones. It's much easier to create a new thought than to remove old past trauma. So for example, when I was younger, I was always short. So people used to make fun of my size and my height, right? Because I was really tiny. So I was 16 years old. I was still like 4'11". You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was short. I was short,
you were
right?
4'11", bro?
I was like 4'11", bro. I was a really short kid. Up until 16 and 16 to 17, I went boop from freaking 4'11", like 5'7", and then 18, I went to 5'7" to 5'9". I just grew within a 2-year time frame, like boop, like a carrot, right? But what was going on before that? People used to shit on me, talking, oh, you're a little small, little scrawny kid. They should not pick me on the basketball court. So I had negative self-talk about myself, right? I was very insecure about my height, very insecure about my size. So, I forgot my train of thought because I got ADD kicked in.
You were saying that...
Holy shit! It's okay. It happens.
That when you were younger, you had...
Oh, yeah. It's much easier to... No, we both got ADD. No, it's much easier to incept. So I started to incept the thought that, hey, I'm going to go to the gym. And I started to create action plans and tell myself, yeah, I'm 5'9", I'm not that short. I'm 5'9", I'm awesome, I'm normal, I'm good. And through that process of me growing out of that stage of negativity, I started to incept positive thoughts about myself. I am good looking. I am a good person. I am this. I am that. And that's when my life started to really change. So instead of me thinking about how do I remove the old thoughts of me being fucking short or being picked on, I started to add new thoughts. It's much easier to create new roads than to break down old roads and rebuild on top of it, right? So forget about the past, which is why I kind of like, I'm so happy in my life right now. It's unbelievable. I don't think about my past so much. I've been through a lot of trauma, just like all of us have been, but I don't think about it. I literally left it in a closet, locked the door, took the key, threw it out, and that's it. And I started creating a new life for myself. That's why I don't think about it. That's why I was in court today, right? And they were asking me questions about what happened in 2014, 15. I was like, yo, I apologize, but I don't fucking remember. You ask me questions that I don't give a fuck about. It's the past. I don't care about the past. I care about tomorrow, next week, next month. I'm gonna create new roads, new highways, new fucking infrastructure for my future. So to answer your question, inception is number one. Don't try to remove shit. It's very hard to remove the nonsense thoughts. It's easier to put in good thoughts. And remember, you dilute the bullshit. Dilute it. That's all you gotta do.
So
okay?
One last question for me. Where do you start? Like say you're so used to and you're, everything you tell, because I know people who just constantly have negative self-thoughts.
So to start, you're saying?
Yeah, like where do you start? Like if you're somebody that just says, all right, let me try to rebuild my infrastructure and build positive, pathways that are going to lead me closer to success.
So number one, you got to understand that you're weak. You got to understand that. You got to be self-aware. You're weak right now. You don't have the right infrastructure to be talking good about yourself right now. So you need to take those thoughts from somewhere else. Books, audios, seminars, surrounding yourself with people that are better than you, sharper than you, smarter than you, right? And they're going to infuse those thoughts into your head. That's number one. Number two, start writing down what you want to be. Start writing down who you are and what you want to be. Who do you want to look like? Who do you want to be like when it comes to yourself? Who's the best version of Michael Barayev? Who's the best version of Eric Chris? Who's the best version of you? Write down those characteristics. Write down those qualities. And look at it and say, okay, goes to the gym and is consistent. All right, so now you say, Michael Barayev, I am a consistent beast that goes to the gym every single day. I'm consistently going to the gym every single day because it's important. I look into the mirror and I create affirmations. I am the most positive individual that goes to the gym consistently and nothing holds me back. The reason why Michael Barayev is able to go to the gym for 10 years straight and not missing a fucking day, even when I was in LA, Miami, China, doesn't matter where, is because I made a commitment a long time ago. I looked in the mirror and I programmed myself. Michael Barayev, you're the most disciplined, consistent person you've ever met in your entire life. You're the best. You're number one. You're number one. You're the best. You're always the kind of guy. When you're tired, you go to the gym. When you're not feeling well, you go to the gym. When you don't want to do it, you'll fucking do it. You tell yourself that every single day by looking into the mirror, speaking it out loud, and thinking at the same time, my friend, you're a fucking bulldozer on steroids.
Speechless.
Good. So, what I want you guys to understand, all right, is that you guys are amazing. Start creating some positive affirmations. Read that book by Shad Hemslether. Read some books. Watch that movie by Inception. Understand the power of the brain. And I believe you guys can start creating a future for yourself that's very bright and very fruitful as long as you understand the power of self-talk. All right, guys? So as you guys know, every single Monday we come into We Spit Fire. And I want you guys to remember to share this with a friend that maybe needs to actually increase his self-talk, maybe some positive self-talk, and go on YouTube, subscribe down below. Let me know that you're watching, comment. We love you.